Hey guys, it's Michael. I have a very important update for you on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. In today's video, we're going to go over how while a new bill passed to prevent a government shutdown in the House, and this bill is set to pass in the Senate later today or tomorrow, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said earlier today that he and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi have finally agreed to revive negotiations and meet again to come to an agreement on a second stimulus bill with direct stimulus checks. Then we're going to go over how during the Senate Banking Committee meeting earlier today on Thursday, Steven Mnuchin came out and released specific details of the second stimulus package and how they could address the total price tag issue that is currently dividing Democrats and Republicans. And finally, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also goes on to talk about the White House administration and their demands of what needs to be in a second stimulus bill as well during this banking committee. So we're going to go over all of that and more. But before we get started, it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. It's completely free to do so, and it currently says about 50% of you watching are not subscribed. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the second stimulus check, second stimulus package, news updates, and other investing updates, well then please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to get $20 immediately when you download the M1 Finance app using the link down below, and get a free stock valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below as well. So, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said earlier today on Thursday that he and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi have finally agreed to revive negotiations over the second stimulus package. This is coming at a time where right now, this week, the main focus has been on this government shutdown bill that has already passed the House on Tuesday, and it's set to pass in the Senate later this week to prevent a government shutdown. Mnuchin told the Senate Banking Committee earlier today that he has probably spoken to Nancy Pelosi 15 or 20 times in the last couple of days alone on this government spending bill, and during these meetings they have agreed to continue discussions on the second stimulus package about direct relief for the American people. During the meeting earlier this morning, Mnuchin goes on to explain that if Democrats are willing to sit down today, I'm willing to sit down at any time for bipartisan legislation, and he wants to pass something very quickly. He goes on to urge Pelosi and the Democrats to pass things that they already agree on quickly, and they can always come back to other aspects later on. So he says they already agree on a $1,200 stimulus check and more direct payments for the American people, so they should get that passed immediately. He explained how right now it's less of the issue of what the absolute number is, what the total price tag is on the bill, and more of an issue of how they will allocate that money and where the money will go. Pelosi also said Thursday at a news conference that she expressed hope that there will be another round of talks, but gave no indication that the Democrats would bend on their stance of a $2.2 trillion price tag. President Donald Trump has indicated that he could go up to $1.5 trillion, and he may even be willing to sign a bill larger than that. But right now, many Senate Republicans do not support spending that much. Moving on, during the Senate Banking Committee earlier today on Thursday, Mnuchin came out and released specific details of what he would like to see in the second stimulus package and how they could address the total price tag issue that is currently dividing lawmakers right now. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said how hundreds of billions of dollars in unused funds from the $2.3 trillion virus aid package that was passed as part of the CARES Act earlier in the year could be reallocated to help U.S. households and businesses. They explained how about $200 billion from this package in money allocated to the Treasury to backstop U.S. central bank loans remains uncommitted and unused. And Mnuchin also pointed out that the $130 billion left in the now expired Payment Protection Program to help small businesses needs to also be reinstated so businesses can access this money again. They explain how much of this money could be allocated to the American people in the form of direct $1,200 stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, as well as giving access to small businesses for more loans and more funding as well. This is similar to what President Trump said a couple of weeks ago when he suggested using the $300 billion in unused funds for direct stimulus checks for the American people. In addition, Jerome Powell goes on to reiterate something that he has said each of the last 3 days in this Senate Banking Committee, which is that while households are spending what's left of their stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, the risk is that they will go through this money, or that they've already gone through all of it, and that they'll ultimately have to cut back on spending and maybe even lose their homes or their lease. Powell explained that this is the downside risk of more stimulus not passing, and how even though we don't see much of this issue yet, it's not a big issue as of right now, it could well be out there in the not too distant future, and it could become a very large issue if we don't get more stimulus passed. And finally, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin goes on to talk about the White House administration specifically and their demands in regards to a second stimulus package. He explained how the Trump administration still backs another stimulus package that includes $1,200 stimulus checks. During the hearing with the committee earlier today, Mnuchin testified alongside Jerome Powell, and both have continually said over the last 3 days that the economy has recovered and it is recovering right now, but that the risk of further damage remained because of the pandemic, and even more so if Congress doesn't pass more relief. Mnuchin explained how the president and he remain committed to providing support for American workers and businesses. And ultimately, he said now that he is scheduled to meet with Nancy Pelosi, he believes that a targeted stimulus package will happen and that the administration can reach a bipartisan agreement very quickly. He said the administration does support another stimulus payment similar to the $1,200 check that the government sent out to over 150 million Americans in April and May, and he believes it will arrive in the bank accounts of the American people before the election. So anyways, that is just a quick update on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. The bill that passed in the House on Tuesday is now set to be voted on either later today or tomorrow to be officially passed by the Senate. In addition, Mnuchin said he's officially agreed to meet with Nancy Pelosi, and they both are going to be meeting as well to discuss a second stimulus package with direct stimulus checks. And finally, we also went over what White House administration is currently saying about the second stimulus check. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get $20 immediately when you download the M1 Finance app using the link down below, and get a free stock valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull Investing app using the link down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.